Yeah, how you doing, man? My name is Ralph Lane Jr. And you know me, man. I'm gonna just be real with you. You probably seen my martial arts movies, Wu Tang versus Shaolin, or Ninja. How can I say this? Shaolin finger jab, ninja versus. Actually, it's not Wu Tang versus Shaolin, but it's actually Ninja versus Shaolin. Mom the real Abbott Shaolin, but it's actually Ninja versus Shaolin. Mom the real Abbott White. I'm looking real gold right now. I'm a real star being. I literally got hurt in a paradigm in a movie called Boogie Night. I was hurt. I got shot in the movie. It's like really, me, Emperor Lee, but Emperor Chin, Emperor Chi himself, Emperor Asia himself, and China himself, literally, all signatures, Emperor Love of all stars himself, literally. I was literally hurt in a paradigm, and I got hurt in a civil war defending the United States government and other social economic governments. You gotta learn your vocabulary. And then, me being hurt, I was recovering for a certain periodical time while I was in New York, Brooklyn, but now I'm not in New York, Brooklyn no more. I used to be residing at 4023 Avenue K. Now I'm at a different address for a minute, getting my mind while I'm recovering back to the point it's supposed to be at, because I got shot in my chest and I got shot in the side of my head in a live Civil War movie called Boogie Night, but it was a real Civil War, going on at the time, because of the social economics and education when it came to mythology, metaphysics, and the higher consciousness of the physical reality. And now I'm here. I got a new cell phone number. My cell phone before was 1347-794-8800. But now my new cell phone number is 497-0404. We're about to go into the year after we approach the year of the 19th. But I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to be real with you, for individuals that be looking and other things like that. But, I'm going to call me the real crypt keeper. But I told individuals, don't watch Da Vinci Code, because I'm the real Omega Code. And on top of it, I'm the real Melchizedek himself, really known as Solomon, and beyond Adam's dad, and owner of these continents and planets, and all your social economic education that you'll ever learn. So I'm just gonna be real with you. You could believe me or not. Like I said, you could look at my. Let me announce myself for a second. I'm the real Ra. I am the real Osiris. I am known as Orion. You know, um, I'm alive. You have literal science that educates you the reasons of an individual when it comes to the humane condition of one's anatomy and matter. There's a celestial earth. You're learning about cellular activity, or lower form, and you're being educated about your literal humane condition of your social economics and other social economics of other individuals within your environment at certain points of existence of visual intent, even at a time. And I'm just gonna be real with you, and I'm physically alive, the real physical, real raw, physically alive, real raw from the pyramids, real raw, real raw from the pyramids. I'm physically alive, and there's nothing else more to say about certain other things. Pardon me, I'm wearing my hat. I had watched a movie dealing with anatomy, and certain things had happened, and I'm just recovering at the same time as I'm speaking to you. Ain't that funny? I'm actually recovering as I'm speaking to you while I'm making this video, and I'm just gonna be real with you. As I'm speaking to you, I'm gonna tell you just like this. In the literal real martial arts movie of, I would say, ancient times of myself, literally, and it's literally me. And I was just, I'm not wearing a mask. I just humbled my features of my reality, because I wanted to recover and I didn't want people to complicate my situation. So I told individuals, 3 days later, you'll notice me. Only if you know the social economics when it comes to to your higher conscience or the ways of your acknowledgement that guide you on your journey of one's dignity, of one's human conditions, and the reasons of one's being when it comes to one's astrological tree. So, I'm just going to let you know I am the real Abbott White, got it in, and then all types of situations. I have the legacies and lineage of purity that when I entered and I actually did certain things a certain type of way because the physical attribute at the time may have been too high for my children, so I literally entered at a time even in because I watched them complete their physical reality a certain type of way at times. So as before one of my children got hurt, I had entered the literal system just to be able to make sure I regarded the situation even for my wife in a paradigm of time, and then I continue. But I'm the literal Abbott White himself. You would call me Charlene. You would call me Asia. I'm the literal Asia himself, also China, and the astrological emperor and the real husband of the astrological empress in the metaphysical realm, in the spiritual realm that regard all legacies and lineage, and those are my real wives. And I was in New York and I seen individuals on some Clash of the Titans and all type of situation. Well, I'm gonna let you know I'm Titan himself, but we're not gonna get into it. And I'm also the real India, and also known as the real Buddha, and also known as the Dalai Lama. But I'm gonna just tell you just like this, I'm not gonna speak about my regards because you have Gulams, you have Lamas, you have ninjas, you have Katars, you got Ginsu, you got the ice ninjas, ice score ninjas. You have so much. I have so much regard, and I have the caretakers on my planet that regard me in the physical reality. I have other situations at a point I'll show and acknowledge even at points. But I'm gonna be real with you. I'm the real Charlene himself. You know me, Shiloh, but I'm the real Charlene himself, and I'm also Emperor Lee, and the Triple Crown Emperor, and the Ninth Crown Emperor, and literally Emperor Ing, also known as Emperor Ming, but I am the East Ming, Emerald Ming, and my name is Ralph William Jr. And, I'm not going to get into it. I'm Americo Vespucci. I am Americo Africanus, and I'm also, I'm not going to get into everything. You got to know your social economics, you got to know your physics. You should regard the 63rd precinct because they had this information in other precincts: Internal Affairs, Central Intelligence, the Federal Bureau, the Federal Bureau. The reason why you have private precincts and the reason why you have Internal Affairs because one has to know the intricacies of the physical reality and of one's acknowledgement when it comes to the human condition of one's social economics. I came up, with a couple ideas and stuff like that, for the future. I explained certain things when it comes regarding Superman, and you might not believe in these things, but these things are very real in the human condition of one's higher consciousness and one's physical reality. I explained a couple things when it deals with the physical reality, but I'm gonna just wait until I get my Sandisk chips. I'm going live right now, but I'm gonna wait till I get my Sandisk chips, and I'll explain on certain other things. And if I choose to upload certain videos of it, the social economics of your higher consciousness, of your education, I uploaded at the time. Yes, it's really me, the real Abbott White, the real Orion, the real Osiris. I got shot in the side of my head before, and now I'm okay. And we just dealing, I'm the literal Greek himself, Greek, himself, and I'm also was known as the real Zeus. So I'm just gonna let you know how real my situation is. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna say too much about certain other things. You're gonna have to find out for yourself in time. And I don't believe in people acting civil to cause a civil war. I believe in humility and one knowing the reasons of dignity and honor and honoring the literal orientation and law of one's existence, of one's natural orientation, of one's physical reality, dealing with one's higher consciousness, of one's anatomy when it comes to the higher acknowledgement of one's social economic education. So, we'll speak another time. I go by my name, Ralph William Jr. Now, let me show you my ID. Because, the government has to be aware of the government has to be acknowledged. But I'm aware of the situations going on, but the government has to be acknowledged to certain things that go on a certain type of way. And I'm a man of dignity, and a man of all your dignity, the reasons of your signature in the physical reality. And I'm just gonna show you this. I don't gotta tell you too much about certain other things. I'm just gonna be real. And right now, I'm loving myself, and having a wonderful time with the way I'm dealing with my life. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here recovering a certain type of way when it comes to the physical reality. I came up with a couple ideas, far as international security and other things, and I spoke about things even watching the international. You know, don't don't sabotage your education to the physical reality, because it can end up worse when it comes to individuals and their acknowledgement of the reason of their being. When it comes to the the international system of lightning and electricity of one's physical entertainment, because of individuals at times learning forms of their education, and individuals instructing and showing individuals form of their education in how can I say this? Um, it, broadening their horizon to their physical reality, so the acknowledgement of their physical mind can be able to acknowledge a form of the higher consciousness. It's just like acknowledging the reasons of the existence, but making one more self-aware from one's physical to be blind. Just like why you have oxygen trees. You notice how oxygen trees have fingerprints, so they can acknowledge the precise level of oxygen of your humane condition, of the oxygen that you need for your social economics, of your humane condition, of your physical reality in the atmosphere, the precise oxygen level that you need to survive for your respiratory system. If you get rid of an oxygen tree or make the oxygen tree sick, it will cause the pressurization of the wrong type of pressurization in the physical reality, and then your life would be in danger. And in certain things, like say you start having oxygen trees that seem bare or naked, which is supposed to do is call the government, have them come liquid nitrogen the tree, seal off the area, liquid nitrogen the tree, seal off the tree, liquid nitrogen it, literally, precise procedures, treat the tree to be taken down. When you pull it out to expose the roots, you gotta make sure that the place is isolated and sealed. Liquid nitrogen the roots. Dig out the area around it. Liquid nitrogen the surrounding area. Pull out the strenuous strains. Liquid nitrogen is okay to make sure. Let it sit there for a little while. I gave you this information. I'm not saying this just so the government should know. Treat it. Let it sit there for a little while. Then, as it removes the liquid nitrogen, you literally treat it. You literally liquid nitrogen another time. Wait another week. Then you treat it. Put the new growth. And then, as you put the new growth, then you literally as you treating it and you liquid nitrogen, you're supposed to level out the surrounding door to see wherever the rain, when the rain fell, where did it seep to, because you want to make sure you get the other surrounding air, the other surrounding parts of that cause the deterioration. And then next thing you know, you put it back on, you level it out, making sure liquid nitrogen in. Then when you put the new dirt, you treat it, then you can plant a new tree, But you got to make sure the soil is healthy when you do things like that, because when it comes to one's oxygen and one's humane condition, everything is very serious when it comes to the physical reality. I'm going to let you know I'm the real emperor of all existence. I'm the real emperor of this planet and all of Asia, and America is a part of Asia. And I'm the literal China himself. So, a lot of things was going on with the digital system that I didn't want to speak about certain things. and I was just doing certain things a certain type of way, believe me a lot, it don't matter to me, but I'm just gonna be real with you, have real history, and the lowest form of DNA that I make is celestial, and you're on the celestial earth. So, and a lot of you are cellular activity, and you're on the celestial earth, and the lowest form of DNA I make is literally celestial. So you think about what I'm saying. So, and I'm the only one like this. You even have celestial beings of the higher anatomy that only have cellular activity. And those are my children, literal stars. And then you have literal me, the emperor of all existence that made the astrological empresses that regard the reasons of individuals' education. You ever heard the movie Boys in the Hood? He said, how about if the God was a female? Well, I'm gonna be real with you. My wife is the one that regards you while let me explain something to you. I'm the conqueror that you read about in Latin. Now, if you ever read Latin and you learned about one historical events, I'm Emperor Chi also, but I'm also the conqueror that you read about in Latin. I am the head of even Alexander's tree and Genghis Khan's tree, even in the paradigm of time, and I'm the real Osiris, the real Orion. Tutankhamun said he's dad himself. And the reason why, me, I am the word. I'm not going to get into everything. I am the word himself. But, like I said, I am Titan himself. And I am the word himself. And I'm Seti's dad himself. And yes, I do speak Creole. And I speak other various languages, but I don't speak. Because the reasons being is just the fact is, I rather just speak clear English. This is why you're learning social economics and speaking clear English. And there's a lot of things that happened in the paradigm of time while I was recovering that I was viewing for individuals' acknowledgement when it came to their education. And now, as individuals learning and growing, I'm gonna just be real with you. Pardon me, because I have something going on a certain type of way with my physical reality. So some of you might feel an uncomfortability and a form of pressure as I'm tying my head because of other individuals acting unsanitary when it came to their physical acknowledgement and was doing the wrong things. But, let me just correct the situation and I'll heal the situation for a second. So, only for myself, so I don't have to go out my way to other things, but hold on for 1 second. And I am the majesty of Asia, all of Asia, for every city, town, or however you want to look at the physical reality. But I am the majesty of Asia, even Japan, and every emperor that was crowned was of the purity and came directly from me. If anybody that claimed to want to ever be an emperor, which is not an emperor, they're just crowned king, but some people, because of the title, they'll say emperor, they have to be a direct descendant literally from me. So I'm just being real with you. So another person saying or doing something, like I said, mythology and the higher education of one metaphysics is real. So, if another one chooses to go about a situation, they'll just see how real physical education. I'm okay because I'm life himself, the point of all physical reality. And also, I am the reason of your social economic education of all forms. So I'm just going to be real. So if an individual, wants to acknowledge a certain thing a certain type of way and wants to know and see their education, I wouldn't try me. But if an individual is foolish enough or stupid enough to try their own empress, then you'll see how real it is with me in the physical reality because I'm the point of all physics of the physical reality. and I'm also known as Emperor Chin. I'm a very way more wonderful, handsome man of the physical reality, but I had to humble my features because I was recovering, and because of the injuries, certain type of ways, I had to heal precisely in a certain sequence of light of myself, of the higher anatomy, and literally refine the astrological tree for they could heal. And when I recovered, and you ever seen the Hercules cartoon when it tells you, when they tell you about me, Zeus, and then I was stuck on the earth for 2 days. Well, it seemed longer than 2 days, but I was stuck on the earth for like 2 days because I had to recover a certain type of way because what individuals did, and then I was going to be stuck here a certain type of way, and then my children had to know the difference of what was going on and where I was. So they had to literally find me in the physical reality even at a time, and that's because I'm the emperor and the head of all astrological trees. See? I don't have to show you my wife. I can just show you myself. See? And I am the father of all the astrological trees of all the hunters. See? And if you want to see a point of my wife, that will verify even for individuals of the majestic crown of the majesty. See? And I also show you I'm the majesty emperor of all space, even of this space in higher levels, but I'll just show you this level of space. See? And you can see myself now. And you can see my wife, see? And I have others. I have every point of every star of acknowledgement is my literal wife. There was only me all through existence, literally. Now, I'm just going to show you something, right? I was having a situation with Helen, Penny, and a couple of my other wives because of the social economic influence and individuals that wanted to annoy my I got shot in my head. So you have individuals that wanted to annoy my consciousness in the paradigm of time that led up to the physical reality of the trauma that happened that caused the deterioration and the depression of other people in the physical reality. And I noticed that there was some people around me doing some form of metaphysics science. Metaphysics means mental, of one's physics, of one's higher being, and then it's also mythology, mythology, meta, mental, astrology, dealing with celestial heights of acknowledged logic and let me not tell you everything because some other people got to learn their vocabulary. But anyway, dealing with one's higher consciousness, and they would do, and I heard certain people doing certain things around me in the physical reality. This is why I told my caretakers in the international government, international security, that I had a condition called schizophrenia, when I tell you what's going on because the atmosphere and the earth is inside of me, and I'm here within the earth because it's high metaphysics, high science, high magic, and a higher level of the physical reality. And then when I got shot in Boogie Night, I had to make sure I came back as a child. This is why you had the movie Superman, because I was letting them know that I was literally here. I came back as a child of pure innocence to be able to keep the atmosphere cleansed for you to be able to have a future and be able to survive in the physical reality going to the future, and your reproductive system to all your social, economic, human condition can heal if something happens to one of y'all in the physical reality and on the point of all physics. And let me just verify this for you. Also, me being here in this social economic environment, you have individuals that was already trying to do the wrong thing. And this is why I had to identify myself a certain type of way at a time for individuals of the physical reality. And, I gotta tell individuals, watch the martial arts that some of them do in the physical reality, because you don't want to end up causing certain things happening on a higher level, and then individuals come hold you responsible, and then certain things happen to you in the physical reality. So be very careful. And it's me, I'm the real emperor of all existence. I'm literally God. I'm the real Troy. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm the real Troy. I'm literal glory. There's my wife glory of the astrological tree glory, but I'm the literal glory himself, the real glory. You've seen the movie Troy, so you've seen as every point of enlightenment when I was making every legacy and lineage of, I was looking precise to how I made my wife for the reason of one's acknowledgement, of one's obligation, of one's higher consciousness, of one's point of existence, of one's social economic even at times. So you got to know the reasons of the difference. So, I'm not going to get into too much. I'm not going to speak about too much. The government, I already know that they're acknowledgeful about the situation. I'm just letting you know what's really going on with me. And then from there, I just hope some of y'all are individuals that hold the education very sacred, and then other individuals keep their education of the real regard. And I'm just going to tell you something like this. Be careful of other people that dishonor their dignity in a paradigm of time, that have a certain type of rap sheet, that try to manipulate people as we go forward into the future in a paradigm of time, because the fact that they don't want you to know how they dishonor their dignity and cause a galactical war and cause a depression and even falling stars in a time of existence. And because people not acknowledgeful about the situation, they try to aware the situation out to cause a deterioration in their physical condition of a depression, and just trying to cause individuals to feel worn out and depressed, where they could be able to manipulate and take advantage of other individuals' physical reality, attributes, and other situations of acknowledgement when it comes to the hierarchy of existence, of one's natural order, of the reason of one's anatomy, human condition, of one's orientation, and of one's physical reality when it comes to the natural acknowledgement and etiquette of one's equality, even of one's habitation of the physical existence of your social economics. So be very careful of other, you got to be very educated to know what I'm speaking about. So be very careful with other individuals in life. And I'm just going to be real. You have, something I was just thinking about even at a time, you have individuals that you don't want them to misguide you, and because they don't want you to know what they did in a paradigm of time. And then you have individuals that may go after people's sacredcy because the way they already try to manipulate their humane condition to their natural anatomy of their physical reality at a time. And then there's different calendars, there's different ways, and then you have individuals that don't want people to be because of things that they did. It's just like, you see, in the future, I'm the real Ra, I'm the real Osiris, I'm the real Orion. There's no killing me. You cannot kill me. You cannot do anything wrong to me in the physical reality. The reason why, because your atmosphere would give out, your earth would plummet, all of space would give out, all the planets would drop, all stars would drop, your elements, you would see periodical signs in the physical reality, because it would be like one. Because in a paradigm of time, let me tell you something, this is why they play certain movies within the system, because certain people are healing their anatomy when it comes to the sequences in the system, And literally, the families of the real dignity, the ones that never dishonor their dignity. You know, there's people that dishonor their dignity that can't, their movies cannot even play in a system a certain type of way because they're already wrong. And they be people that cause terrorism that'll go out and then they'll cause all type of controversy because another person is just coaching them. This is why you have movies like Star Wars. Star Wars is real. Then you have controversies of other people coaching them, telling them what to do and cause turmoil because other individuals are not supposed to be like have a form of turmoil, because other people that's really fair, they don't need a point of turmoil. Like if you ever see my skin oily, that means I'm probably around people that offended me in my social economics in their humane condition, and they're just manipulating individuals. And as I'm around, it reflects for me to know what's going on because I instantly have to reflect because I'm a real right now I'm a real Caucasian Asian like white man but I'm humbled by features where in the value of myself so I could literally I'm the intensity that heals all white anatomy. I heal, regard, and refine all white anatomy. I don't cause a white anatomy to be hurt to heal it. I literally, if it's hurt, I heal and refine all white anatomy and all light anatomy of the physical reality and of the real regardless. So I repair it if something's wrong, but if something's not wrong, I don't heal it because it doesn't need to be healed. I'll make sure it's okay a certain type of way in the physical. And there's somebody trying to make me uncomfortable right now when it comes to my wrist. So, be careful of other individuals learning certain forms of physics of the physical reality of human condition at other people's point of acknowledgement because of what they want to do and what they're causing at a time because of their greed and of their slothfulness and of their wrong intent of one's human condition and consciousness. Because if you offend me and I'm the emperor of all existence, that means if you have a spoiled conscience, you have a spoiled physical. So that means you're already poisoned to the human condition of the natural habitation. So one has to know the regardment. I'm the refiner. I'm the natural refiner. So as another person is a natural poison if they have a spoiled conscience. But I'm the natural refiner. This is why I correct situations. And this is why you learn why there's this private social economic system and private regardment and social economic system. And I own this planet in all continents. So I'm glad to see your votes. I'm glad to hear all these type of things at a time. Wonderful. I own the land. Now, I own this planet. So what do you think now? Okay, great. So now, I'm just being real with you because there's no reason for an individual to tell me they're gonna. Let me explain something to you. If somebody tries to hurt me in the physical reality, your elements will deteriorate. You will see early signs in your natural habitation of your earth because I'm a refiner. I'm refining in intensity. This is why you learn about Egyptian science. I'm refining in gold. I was hurt. I was a light up being, Abbott White, if you see the martial arts movie. I'm refining in gold now. I have humbled myself to be able for the next rise of existence while I recovered in the physical reality because I came back like an innocent child for the atmosphere and I'm moving in a mental case called schizophrenia because it's just like the movie Pre-Crime. You understand? I'm the real pre. You know your history. I'm the real pre. I'm not pro. I'm pre. The real Mick himself, the MC himself, the MIC himself, the real Mike, the word himself said he's that literally. So I'm just going to let you know. It's just like I'm the reason of one's acknowledgement of one's natural tribute of one's dignity. So I'm just letting you know. So if you keep hearing me saying life, remember Latin, and then I'm the literal conqueror. So there's a lot of things. I'm so nice when I speak to you. It's like omega codes. You gotta know exactly what I'm saying in certain type of ways. That's why you gotta learn your vocabulary when it comes to social economics. So I'm already expressing myself at a higher frequency in a tone for one can hear the natural vibrational frequencies of certain things according to certain people in the physical reality of one's social economics. So be careful. It's just like imagine having a person, pardon me for saying this, but this is the reality of what I'm telling you. Imagine having people that has messed up features and demeanors of the physical reality. And then you have people that have wonderful allurement of the physical reality. And then you wonder what is the difference even at a time. Their sequency of their speech pattern will be different. So be careful of the people you surround yourself with, even of their purity in the physical reality when you're receiving the intent of one's natural consciousness of one's sacredcy, because the signal it's like telekinesis. The signals that you're receiving at a time will be different intricately for individuals. So if you have a bunch of messed up people around you, this is why you also have the yin and yang. So let me explain something. Let me show you something. Probably you'll understand self-explanatory and visual images sometimes is better for certain individuals. I'm just gonna be real with you. Visual images are sometimes better for individuals even at a point sometimes, because when one's learning one's higher consciousness, when one is receiving the signal of one's physical reality, one has to know the difference. So if you have a bunch of ugly people around you and then you have a certain sequence of a signal of a consciousness for you to know, because I change, I'm different with my features a certain type of way. This is why I humbled my physical reality, because I'm way more handsome than what I've seen. I humbled myself because I didn't want to be a target in the physical reality when it came to certain people, because certain people in their physics and the things that they will do when it comes to physics, and I'm the literal Solomon, I'm the real Solomon. Anyway, let me finish explaining to you. So, and I'm also the real Emperor Ming, Emperor Ing himself. I was supposed to be crowned emperor in England 2013, but I wasn't there. But where I'm residing at right now, the sun is actually shining in a certain sequence on this earth that's reflecting a certain type of way that's showing England I should have been brought to England to be crowned emperor, because the fact is they need me for their vegetation and their habitation, because it went too much of a long time that caused certain things. Just like I was supposed to be there for the Mayan calendar, for the reunion of a calendar of the Mayans, because during the time 9.5 went one way, 3.5 went the other way. But I was the literal reason of the Mayan calendar, the Aztec and Incas and the Mayan calendar, even at times, and literally educated of all Asia Minor and all of the calendars of acknowledgement, because you had a calendar of era, air and light. I'm just telling you ancient calendars, this lightning calendar, all types of other calendars. You had the Rowland Temple, Shaolin Temple, you have even, a person wouldn't believe it. If I told you there was an elf calendar, and then you have elves. It's like when you see Santa Claus, like an elf. But then you have the elves. The elves are different. They have a different anatomy. The celestial beings that have a different anatomy from other individuals, and then you have the elves. They have a different anatomy from the elves. And then, a person wouldn't know the reason of their human condition and existence if another person not paying attention to the reason of their dignity in a paradigm of time, right? This is why education is important. Now, you see, I was supposed to be there for the Mayan calendar, but I was in New York and Brooklyn. And when the day I came outside and I seen that I was supposed to be there, I just couldn't get to the Mayan calendar. Well, I could have in a certain type of way at the time, but because the individuals wanted to misguide the individual, because they were going after individuals' forms of their natural habitation, because they wanted to know the natural existence of one's sacredcy that wasn't meant for them, that caused the discouragement and deterioration, that caused a form of discomfort for a higher empress of an astrological tree, of the obligation and the rotation of one's natural orbit celestial axis, so you got to be very careful at a certain time with every individual. So one has to know the difference of physical reality. This is why you have educations about higher consciousness, chakras, and stuff like that. See, I don't have chakras. I have little vital points of natural solar systems and little galaxies within me. And then other people, when they do martial arts, they learn about chakras, because if they ever have to defend the dignity of the human condition and say your higher consciousness or point of existence, something happens, it's like being in the military or being in the army. You have to pick up, you got to pick up for one end up slack, for one could be able to survive, to recover even at a time. Because if one doesn't recover, you don't want to run around with a chicken without a head and end up popping to death. So one has to know the reason of one's recovery and keep one upliftment and encouragement for one's survival of the physical reality. If one deteriorates, one higher consciousness at the point of existence of one's regardment, then next thing you know, it's just feel sorry for you, man. You know, probably you are what one is learning about to keep the reason of them keeping regardment for their secrecy and privacy, and just need to know how to be social and educated in etiquette when dealing with individuals in a social economic system that can even have forms of, of how can I say, education when it comes to their equality. So this is all I'm gonna say. As I was saying though, you have to have individuals that, you had air and light. Then you had stonemen, in which they needed air and light, and air and light needed certain stonemen at a time. I didn't need all that because, see, I'm a man that, when I do my martial arts, I could literally shift the orbit's rotation and planets and put you right now we're in a triple crown space, right? We're in a triple crown Titan and a higher acknowledgement to one's mythology space right now. And then you have we're still in the Chin, the empress of this earth. At a certain point, we're in a triple crown space. Triple crown meaning certain empresses of the high acknowledgement to one's higher, the higher journey and points of one's physical reality of existence for one's higher science of one's acknowledgement to the attributions of the physical reality. Now, you had the ice galaxy way before these situations, not the triple crown space, certain type of way, but you had the ice galaxy that was the head even before this planet was even formed even at a time, and they had an astrological calendar of certain structure before the zodiac calendar was formed. The zodiac calendar was the lower form of one's natural concentrated existence for one's intricacies of acknowledgement, for one's regardment of one's physical senses of one's social economics humane condition. And then you had the original calendar of the ice galaxy that never had monkeys, that never had certain fish, never had these things. The ice galaxy calendar was a higher acknowledgement to the upliftment of the higher physical reality to individuals for real regardment and for real times of love and wealth and enrichment. But then you had the literal calendar of the zodiac that was formed at the time for the individual's logic, sensibility, and one's physical, how can I say this, ingenuity of one's time, of one's physical reality, and learning one's form of foundation of one's natural precipitation. You gotta know your vocabulary while I use these words a certain type of way. Now, I'm just gonna be real, but then you have, even this planet has like a zodiac calendar a certain way. I don't regard the zodiac calendar because those individuals could be more, a person will say primitive. The reason why they use primitive because it's in a more form of a barbaric sense of the physical reality the way individuals go about the physics, and then you have individuals that take up certain acknowledgement a certain type of way in the physical reality for the structure and the regardment and for their logic and their sensibility when it comes to their senses, so they can be able to literally fine-tune the reason and still be the regardment of the higher consciousness of the astrological empress of their point of existence, or the main empress of the point of reality for the reason of the agenda at the time of one's journey, and for one's acknowledgement, for one's recovery when it comes to one's habitation. So, you got to be very careful for the things that happen in the physical reality. This is why one broadens, one horizons when it comes to one's physical consciousness of life. So, but you got to be very careful, because you have other individuals at a time that are manipulating the physical reality. It's just like learning about them. It's like learning about health. You don't want to connect your nervous system to the wrong nerve, because you can cripple the nerve. So you got to make sure everything is precise and when it's moving, because it'll be the end of the physical reality. So you got to watch out for people's deviousness, people's treachery at the time, people's people's vindictiveness, all type of situations. Well, those words can also be used in another form, but this is why you have to know your vocabulary, even when it comes to the natural attributes of the physical reality, when one comes in a natural next humane existence to one's social economic habitation of the physical reality, because one can endanger themselves. It's just like going somewhere and they feel like you're being poisoned. People like, this person gave me poison and all that. No, actually their habitation wasn't meant for another person a certain type of way at the time. This is why they couldn't acknowledge the physics of the physical reality, and it was instant. And then you got to be careful of other individuals that know their education, or individuals being coached by other individuals that know their education, that endangers people's life a certain type of way, because other people in their through time. Because you ever heard of immaculate conception? I have things like this on a regular with certain things. You gotta know who I am, really. I told you, I'm the real life itself, existence itself, that even made all space. So, you have people at times that have a form of immaculate conception. You got people that are scared of immaculate conception, because the way when certain people have immaculate conception and they already did wrong to the higher empress of their higher. Now remember, the astrological empress is the higher consciousness, and that's my wife, and I literally made that. So now, if you have an empress of the higher consciousness that you offended, and then you have immaculate conception, that's a form of a higher purity. You have people that already wants to deteriorate. It's like selling your soul. It's like if you're gonna sell your soul to have no consciousness, because you don't care about what the existence of your human condition or what caused you to even be in existence. That means another person, the empress, would look at you upon you a certain type of way in the physical reality. Now, if you have somebody that is honorable or sacred, more sacred when it comes to their legacy or lineage, you have people that is more devious, that'll cause the reason of the high regard and cause a certain type of intent, because an individual at a time will be scared of what they already did to their social, their social economics. They'll be scared of what they did to people a certain type of way, so they wouldn't want certain things to happen a certain type of way. Now, we're in 2018. We're in the year of the reflection right now. Now, the year 2000, this is why it's called 2018. 2000, the year of the reflection. Because 2013, you hear what I'm saying, 2014, I hope look at your education. 2015, if you're a feminine being, you know yourself at all 5 points. 2016, if you're a man, you know yourself at all 6 points. 2017, see what I'm saying? 2018, you should know. 2019, look. 2020, what are you saying? 2021, it's right here. You know what I'm saying? But by then, I don't even gotta tell you, I could go a little further, and it's a little more intricate of what I was just saying, but I don't want to really get into it. But I'm just gonna be real with you. You have other individuals that's more scared. This is why you learn about demonic people that naturally deteriorate in certain forms of the physical reality because of their lower acknowledgement to the humane condition their barbaric being that causes the natural desolation of the social economic human condition. So those are people that's more demonic, you know, a person that caused a falling star, a person that want to see the higher regardment, that want to get the point. Some people are using it as a form to get a higher regardment, a higher education of their physical reality. Some people literally cause a falling star. Some people say, if you ever seen a falling star, a shooting star, you can be acknowledgeful about something. And me, I'll tell you, say a word of praise. But another person will probably tell you, ask for something, type of, I'm different. I'd rather just say a word of praise. And on top of it, if you ever seen a falling star, certain things, you better know the wattage, the reason. You better know, you better hope lights don't flicker. There's a lot of things you better know in the physical reality, or it's gonna be, is this gonna be a time of an individual just physically dealing with your natural being a certain type of way, because you have the higher regardment at a time that probably did certain things. See, I said all astrology or star clusters, or stars or star clusters or astrology or constellations and all sacred zodiacs at the beginning of time. So if anybody did any new shape or form that's causing the deterioration and the manipulation of the anatomy, and it will literally cause a cycle, even in physics, will cause it to fall at certain periodical times, because the fact is, I wasn't there to make sure certain things were a certain type of way, and then they'll end up doing it to themselves. So that's not my fault. That's another person in their irresponsibility, because the lower form of one's social economics, of one's humane condition, of one's natural habitation, even of one's ease, of one's consciousness, and even at life. So you got to be very careful of other than the people that tries to make you wear out your physical reality, that tell you don't. I strengthen all the humane conditions of all anatomies, of all astrological trees. So it's just like a person saying, they don't have a form of love for me, a certain type of way, and it's supposed to be of the highest purity, of the highest allure, because the fact is, I have to stay of the higher consciousness turned on. If I'm turned off, then, it'll end up failure. It's just like, you don't want to set somebody up for failure. You want to make sure they do precisely what they're supposed to do. So another person doesn't have the same anatomy as me, so my wife already knows I'm the one that's instinct. Another person will cause a failure. So if you have people that try to set somebody up to deteriorate them because their enviness or their hatred, or because the fact is, they want to be on some Clash of the Titans and they want to be a certain type of situation, you got to remember in the paradigm, now this is a year of reflection. Now, I'm already recovering. I'm the one that gave all planets or moons or suns or earths of all social economic education their atmosphere. So if something happens to me in the physical reality, elements will show, it'll literally be periodically certain things that happen in sequences, because I'm the paradigm of time healing at a certain time sequence according to everybody's social economics and their physical reality even at a time. So if something happens, you'll have the deterioration of the natural habitation. You'll cause the elements to rust. It'll cause more tragic events in the physical reality. It'll cause uncomfortability when it comes to the humane condition of one's natural habitation and anatomy, and then all type of other things. That means there's people probably playing certain sequences trying to hurt me in the physical reality and trying to cause the end of their existence, because their dishonor when it came to their dignity and other people of their order of the higher consciousness, of the higher acknowledgement, and then cause the dissolution to their physical condition. So, that's just, those are people with bad consciences that have spoiled consciences that are going to lead up to having spoiled physicals. And then on top of it, they're going to be looking to manipulate and tactically and infiltrate people's social economic system, because they're going to be crying like spoiled children and causing the wrong type of things to happen, because you already see their mentality. And then on top of it, they're just moving with their energy because they're thinking that they're right, they're already wrong. But this is why one has to know the natural regardless. So you can't be in a room looking like a handsome person around fucked up people. You can't have a person that is not a person of the highest quality or the highest humane condition around fucked up people, and then they're just making the wrong decision all day because they're already envious. Their emotions will be unleveling, and they'll look at a person a certain type of way. So this is why I'm the real Ador. I'm the real Zeus. I had to, I'm the real Poseidon, himself. You know, the person they'll call Hades because I'm the man of all love. That tell you, I'm Helen's husband. The literal Helen. Hell's husband. Helen, and they call Hell her husband, her literal husband. And you gotta know about the different emphasis and time. And I'm Hera's real husband. There's other people that dishonor their dignity a certain type of way that try to come up with certain stories and that try to cause Salem. You ever heard of the Salem witch hunts? When the vindictiveness caused certain astrological higher forms of physics to be looked upon like a deterioration of the physical reality because of their vindictiveness of what they wanted to do because of what they did to the Milky Way galaxy even at the time. So it led up to a war, a level of war in physics and physical reality that could end up to a world war or a civil war that caused the Crusades, that caused the individuals to be of real high, how can I say this, templates of the physical reality that where one shouldn't be tempted when it comes to the natural habitation and then other things that happen in life. And I'm the real dishonoring. So, I'm be real with you. So individual, I'm gonna let you know, I'm Sir Lancelot. I'm the real Sir Lancelot. You understand? The real honesty of the round table, but individuals wasn't honest as me. So we parted ways a certain type of way because I was already acknowledged for and educated, even everybody that was a part of the table, and everybody had to go their own way because they had their own journey to walk even in the paradigm of time, even in life, because of their higher acknowledgement to how they were learning their physical education for individual survival, for the physical reality even at the time, for one's honor of existence and their dignity. Well, you know me. So, I'm not gonna say nothing. Like there was a time when I'm gonna tell you this now, they talk about King Arthur and me, and then I'm being with my wife, and then I have a whole legacy of purity. So when individuals were already looking to offend the individual of the physical reality, they didn't know that I was with my real wife. They just thought I was with Guinevere, but they didn't realize I'm the astrological empress. We made all the purity. I was with my real wife. So another person thought something else. So it's good sometimes people think certain things and they look at certain things a certain way. I just kept on going a certain type of way, and whatever happened a certain type of way. But I could tell you fully what happened, but if one's educated and of one's social condition of one's natural habitation to their dignity, they'll know the honesty of the situation. If they're not, my caretakers won't let you know what's going on. You'll just know about the situation according to how you're supposed to know about the situation, a certain type of way, probably depending on one's journey because of one's physics of the physical reality. But like I was saying, if you have individuals of the higher consciousness taking certain type of forms, you got to remember the physics that was done a certain type of way, so to literally cause a certain type of disorientation of the physical reality. So one would have to know how to have the precise high acknowledgement of one's natural order, of one's orientation, of one's real high regard of one's existence, of one's physical being. So, I'm not going to say certain things because of certain other people, and, certain people, they look at certain things a certain type of way. So, through time, there's a lot of individuals that got, they have a lot of things to be accountable for, and some people don't want to be accountable for the things that they did, but they have to be held accountable for the things that they did. So, different people, they have to, they have to learn certain things a certain type of way. So I'm not gonna really get into it, but I'm the real Poseidon. I am the real Hades. Hades means high mountain. I am the real Hades himself. You know, I regarded individuals in the paradigm of time in a certain type of way, and that I'm about done with the type of situations that I'm seeing a certain type of way now. So time for real education in the paradigm of time, and some of you are very, you have to be very tributed when it comes to me, and then on top of it, I am existence itself, and the reason that you have you have a human condition of the physical reality, and there's nothing else. This is it, y'all. This is the world premiere, yeah, for real. But that's all I'm gonna tell you. And this is it. So I have nothing else to tell you far as other individuals and the things that they did and the way they regarded, the way they acknowledge life and the things that happen now. You'll have individuals that have the reasons for the things that's going to happen in the physical reality and the things that go on, because I don't believe in Sin City. So if another person saying Sin City, probably because of the way one was living in their natural habitation, but there's no Sin City with me. Everything is of high regard and order, and I don't play. Now, I'm going to just be real with you. If you're a person of the highest quality of the human condition, you shouldn't be around people that are depressing physical reality, because they're already guiding you to the wrong depressing. If you're a jewel, I have my wives are the 10 astrological jewel empresses, and then you have the 42. Then you had individuals named Rags, Edge, Blade, and Shield, and there was their mothers that dishonored the four mothers that dishonored the empresses of the 10 astrological jewels of their higher education of the physical reality when it came to the delicacies and of even life for one's high regard and their vindictiveness to what they tried to do to my wife or Ixa, and my wife, the Empress of Love, and my other wife, my real wife named Liv, but that was from another astrological tree that have her own astrological tree and that have her own points, and then make up another Empress that haven't been seen for a very long time, and this was before the fourth education, and then on top of it, the extreme fantasy. When I'm recovering, I came back in time a certain type of way, because I got to recover at a certain point of degree of an altitude, longitude, and latitude for individuals' physical reality, for their survival, for their future, and then because, there was a galactical war before, and it was called the Fist of the East. The Fist of the North. It was called. You ever seen the Fist of the North Star? It was a real situation. Now, I literally came back in time. I built all the northern, western, and eastern, and southeast and south continents. And the only place I was left on this earth was the southwest continent. I literally built the whole west, northern, eastern, and southeast and south continents back and put land here again back, because the galactical war was so crazy. Other people was wearing my wife like she was some outfit and a dress, and then when individuals were being intricate and they were pressing individuals a certain type of way, my wife was injured, and then certain things happened in the physical reality where I had to repair her higher soul, her higher obligation to her humane condition of her physical reality, and literally had to repair the earth, and even literally, and rebuilt it, and there was nobody here, and I did it by myself. When I did this, it was so amazing to everybody, because this is an element empress of this earth, that everybody was astounded by the situation, and then other people were astonished, because of the situation. So so much things that happened of the physical reality, I literally went about it a certain type of way. And then after doing this, to make sure the situation, I handled situations like a real man, made sure I looked upon a situation a certain type of way, and then I literally refined the situation even more to the intricacy for her survival in the future for certain things when it happened. But while I was here, you had people being bad boys and girls, and they did bad things to my physical reality. And this is something what I'm speaking about. A certain type. They're not the only thing. There was other things that was done, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna be nitpicking and petty to the situation because a person that caused this is of the higher acknowledgement a certain type of way that trickled down to a point of existence where even as I reflected and viewed, it seemed and it reflected in my natural social habitation a certain type of way. So I just didn't say nothing, I just kept it moving because the irresponsibility of what they didn't even realize or what they did to themselves. And the reason why I was supposed to reflect on it because I'm the one that I made space itself of all levels. That's all I'm going to tell you. The reason why I started to even have a point of celestial access in the reality, even in orbits. So I'm just going to be real. So a person that tells you this is not nothing to play with. I'm all Adam's. All Adam's dad. I'm literally Joseph from the pyramid, Moses. I'm not going to get into everything. I'm all Adam's dad. Before when they tried to kill, I'll tell you something, before when they tried to kill my son Adam, they wanted to follow him to know who else he knew. There was things that happened a certain type of way people don't even know about certain things. Because it's like because of your movie, you ever seen the movie, Independence Day when they were scared of the aliens, like they were scared of everybody that was Asian. Basically, the cryptology was showing you that they were scared of everybody that was Asian in the physical reality. They were looking at them that were the aliens, and then the people wanted their secrecy, they wanted their secrets. And then those were people that through time that dishonored their dignity, that wanted to provide evidence that, certain things were done, certain things were certain type of ways, certain of the people. And because they were accused wrongfully, certain of them felt they were accused wrongfully, and then you had certain people that was the reason of the dishonor to their point of enlightenment of the main empress, because like I said, I have 10 astrological jewel empresses that's real different and in the physical reality to one's intricacies of one's elegance of the one's human condition on a real intellectual scale of the higher existence. And then you have individuals, the four empresses, because they were one point of enlightenment of each of them at a point of natural navigation a certain type of way. They dishonored the empresses because they were taking advantage of it. They didn't know and they didn't complete their education, and it caused the deterioration of the human condition of physical reality. Now, this was done on the higher levels of anatomy and life, even when it came to one's existence. So it's going to seem like it's going to take time for them to see the recurrent events happen on a celestial earth. When you're dealing with this celestial earth, we're dealing with cellular activity, so it takes time for individuals to see what's going on, what happened. And then you have celestial beings, and you have astrological, then you have super, then you have mega, then you have quantum, then you have highest, then you have beyond highest, and then you have quantum highest, quantum, then you have quantum. So each of them have their own, I'm not going to get into the intricacies of, but each of them have their own situation a certain type of way. And then because of these people were celestial beings, they were just celestial beings. It was complicated because there wasn't celestial beings, there were celestial beings, and then you had higher beings that were celestial beings that that was just astounded by the situation, that the way things happen with these individuals and the dishonor, and then the individuals being people of dignity and of, how can I say this, people of refound. Things were done eloquently for the adequacy of the physical reality, so individuals wouldn't cause a certain type of social economic panic in the physical. So individuals let certain things happen, so individuals that were complete, that knew their education, regarded the situation through time. But if you had four men that was literally trying to deteriorate with four women, their mothers, and then on top of it, them being their mothers is in the metaphysical realm. So they couldn't be in the physical realm because of what they wouldn't cause, a certain type of way, where they were trying to cause them to be in the physical realm. But when I got hurt, I didn't want to put their mothers in the how can I say this? I didn't want to put their mothers in a physical realm on their planet because the factors of what they would have did to people of the surrounding social economic system. So me being a man of regardment of what a man that made life in existence, I regarded it within myself. And then little by little bit, you had individuals. It's like I'm the elders, but you had individuals that wanted to deteriorate the physical reality. Then you end up having a bad fan. An individual tell you why because I be like, if you look at the elves are all wonderful and rich, and even in physical view. And then you had individuals in the elves who were a little more broad in their the higher consciousness of their habitation that was under the attack because they were going to manipulate through the elves calendar to manipulate to get a hold of the elf calendar. The elf calendar they were gonna manipulate the elf calendar to get to the elves calendar. That was gonna cause natural deterioration because the individuals went after I'm Emperor Chi and they went after a book called the I Ching. I'm the one that educated on social economics. So I didn't want to let the empress go on this earth because they have their own planet where I would have let them go in their own habitation so they could have been put away so they wouldn't hurt anybody else in any other social economic system. But because of me being a form, a certain type of way of a certain regardment for my 10 astrological empresses, I literally resided here for recovery. And then while I was recovering, individuals put their hands on me a certain type of way that caused the release of their empress. And then nobody was noticing. And then when that happened, nobody realized what was going on. And then they were, because they're in the mythological realm a certain type of way, they were literally trying to influence people to do wrong and not keep their purity when it came to their social economic because they were fighting to get other people's knowledge and magic because they wanted to be able to disregard the higher empresses that was educating them. So this way, when the empresses came to existence and the time for them to manifest, they would discipline them for, because remember, all the empresses together at a point in time make a main empress's face. And when all the astrological trees are together, they make a one main empress. So at different positions, there's a different empress because according to the natural orientation in the order. So if you have individuals at a time, them knowing that they did wrong and they were of they were of order, they wanted to get over their head. So they were going to dishonor other people of their purity, trying to get their secrecy and knowledge, because they wanted to compete against the higher education of their own consciousness. So they were like a sickness in the physical reality, but nobody ain't gonna tell a person being bad, and they want to provide, they want to do wrong things to other individuals, and then their education was cut from a certain, because they couldn't be higher than certain empresses because their education had to continue a certain type of way for the future, and then they would have learned certain things a certain type of way, where they would naturally still kept the certain order a certain type of way. They disregarded them education from developing a certain type of way for the future. They wanted to learn the ancient knowledge a certain type of way to cause a form of identity theft, and then by them doing that, they were going into the intricacies of certain things, so that it had to be stopped. So I locked them within my humane condition in a form of a martial arts. It was a form of a martial arts that's known in Asia, a certain type of way that I locked them away in my physical. And then while I was recovering, Hercules didn't know I was recovering a certain type. Well, he shouldn't knew, but I was recovering a certain type of way, and then people were putting their hands on me a certain type of way around people at times because they were being coached what to do, and then it unlocked the point of what their existence inside of me that caused them to even deteriorate other people's and cause a natural disturbance to their anatomy of the higher acknowledgement at a time that caused a struggle because my wives in ancient times, every time I completed my wife, and there was a time of the social economic festival of the planets where I had to take them. You ever seen that movie with Jet Li? Well, it was really me starring in it, but Jet Li had to learn about his social economic education a certain type of way at a time. And me I had to live my children's life a certain type of way for their regardless so they could make sure that they wouldn't be hurt a certain way in the physical reality. And I way more than conquered that, so it could never affect me ever in the physical reality. I know this for a fact. But then you had individuals, Jet Li had to see there was a time where they learned about like the sun gods and stuff like that, where he learned a form of martial arts a certain type of way for his physical condition, for his survival, because of certain things that happen according to his humane condition of his being, of his social economics. So he had to learn his own form of martial arts a certain type of way. And then the story that was left for him that, with an apple, well, it was called a cherry stick. It was like a cherry stick at the time, but it was like in America, it was called to let him know when he seen this, it was an apple stick. You ever seen the apple stick, the candy apple stick? It was to let him know that, listen to that, I'm here a certain type of way. Don't worry about certain other things. You might not really know what's going on and stuff. And then on top of it, that's when he was complete when it came to his education, because I had, in the movie, it looks like him, but I made the purity, so I was already the precise situation. So individuals, if an individual does the wrong thing and they come after him to learn the education, and I already be handling the situation, so it doesn't even matter. So he doesn't know what's going on. I did this for certain of my children in a certain type of way. So I'm just gonna be real. And there's other things that I did they don't know nothing about, which is good because I tell them this, and if they do something and something happens to my humane condition, that's too bad for them because I'm still a refined. When you check my DNA, it's fully refined. When you check my anatomy in my skin sample, I already show up that I'm on the highest level of refinement that another person can't beat, even in a physical reality, not even if they try. So, that science, there's nobody in any space or even higher levels of space or nothing like it. It's only me that's like it. So, this is why there's an order. So now, certain things are, because I have real wives, and there's nobody going to sleep in my life. It's literally me. So, we don't want to be petty when it comes to a situation, right? We don't. When I say petty, it's like a pedal. A person says she loves me, nah, she loves me, and then a person says, the Romeo and Juliet, the reason of Rome, because of their trifling type of mentality, and then causing this clash of the Titan events because some of them because of their anatomy that could spoil easily. Because other people doesn't know about their social economic habitation a certain type of way, and then certain things happen. So one gotta be careful because you do not want a certain ages of dark ages to occur. Because the reason why it's called a dark age is because the mothers of Rags, Edge, Blade, and Shield ate, lay, and live. That was already put away. And then on top of it, then it becomes a constant battle in a system because a certain form of martial arts got to be done in the physical reality to lock them away because they'll cause a deterioration to the higher equality of all physical reality that'll literally cause the end of the world because of their mentality and the type of things that they've been through already in their physics and the education that they have that'll naturally depress the physical reality and cause the deterioration of this planet when they have their own planet. And then on top of it, their social economic habitation to their humane condition is not made for this planet. So when they were locked away inside of me a certain type of way, and then individuals came around me touching me a certain type of way, they were literally just going after my wife's love of Asia and China. And then they try to cause identity theft because other people, how some people, you do certain things for some people, and then I have a man, I have so many wives. I do certain things for my wife that I didn't do for my other wife, and then through time they learning about other things, they want certain things done a certain type of way. Then say there's a controversy, then next thing she wants to live her life, and then when I'm gonna find out about it, she don't want me to know, he loved her so much, and he found out I did something to her, and then, and she ain't do nothing wrong, then he gonna know that I didn't, next thing you know, it's a dignity, then all type of situation, and then they'll cause identity theft, and then it'll be a struggle to the end of I'm not that type of person, so even if the atmosphere energy won't allow me to do something like that, so, or allow somebody to do something like that to me, and literally, you learn about, I have people that's around me that's causing certain forms of uncomfortability, and I can feel it on my humane condition that doesn't want people to acknowledge what I'm saying because they're lying to people, and I'm telling you the reality. And then my DNA provides all the evidence, and when you check their DNA, it provides the evidence of what I'm saying because they're a bunch of pieces of shit that is causing the wrong type of things. Part of my language. But then you have other individuals at a time, knowing that if they wrongfully did something to somebody, and then you have a person correcting the situation, and then they know they don't want people because the way they influence people and the things that they may have did, it may cause some type of outbreak or other type of situations. And then on top of it, you don't want an individual at a time suffering because they go after people of China. This is why you had certain places their education is more advanced than other individuals. Then it comes into competitive or German technology, Turkish technology, Russian technology, Korean technology, American technology. You don't want people doing fun things like that because then it end up in like a sound clash and then Clash of the Titans. Then it end up another type of way that goes back to the more prehistoric times of certain things happening. And then we surpass those type of situations from way ancient times. So a person that does that, it'll be causing the dark ages. So they're causing traumatic events happening, reoccurring in the physical reality because they want some type of acceptance because the way they're ready, how can I say this, deteriorated the physical humane conditions of certain social economic systems. And me saying this to myself, even at a point of reflection, very serious, but I'm not going to say nothing about it now because I already was noticing something like this. But this is what probably led up to this situation for me to even tell you this now. So, it's all right, though. I'm over there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, so, I'm going to continue, and I'm just going to continue saying what I'm saying. But I'm just going to be real about certain things because, you have other individuals that look at life like a slot machine, like a fucking, part of my language because now, I'm realizing something. It's just like, you ever seen Percy Jackson, the movie of Percy Jackson when he was learning about his mythology, about Poseidon and all that, and, the high mythology and individuals claiming certain things. Those are all let me explain something to you. It's just like this commercial with a cat, and I seen that he was pressing on certain things. But the cat don't want to tell you where the cat is from and stuff because the cat ain't going to tell you, yo, listen, man, he came from a long way. I got, he needed cool times and all types of situations. But individuals already went after the vitalness of that type of form of individuals at a time. And that was the era calendar that was already misguided by individuals of Japan because of that region. And it wasn't Japanese that was wrong. It was the people that was influencing, that was, how can I say this? Genghis Khan's sacred influence that tried to cause the fall of King David in ancient times. The individuals that wanted Genghis Khan acknowledgement and also wanted Alexander's history and acknowledgement at the time because the fact is they knew they were already doing wrong and dealing with high anatomy. They were like sincere, just like the Hercules cartoon, so they were already trying to manipulate the situation before individuals could correct the situation from going a certain type of way. It's just like you learn about crabs in a barrel. You don't want certain people pulling down another person a certain type of way and then wondering why the situation happened. So you got to be very careful. And then on top of it, a person to tell you, like I had a warning sign for my wife that was of there's a sign called cancer. Cancer, this and that, but it's not cancer. It doesn't cause, it could cause a form of cancer. This when you have to know the education to doctor the human condition that something like this happens. But that's not meant to happen because it was already done away from when it occurred in the physical reality. So you have individuals that'll cause a certain type of form of discomfort that'll cause that type of situation, and then it'll cause for the education at the time, and it's not meant for individuals to know that education is only meant for a certain astrological tree, just in case of emergency. Because you don't want them to deteriorate certain points of the physical reality when it came to their higher empress. So, I'm Athena's husband. My wife Athena, I'm the one that educated her. So, you could think it's a joke. I'm very serious in what I'm saying. So, whatever you want to think for yourself, I'm just telling you the honesty. So it don't even matter. Find out for yourself. Just don't try me. No matter what you do, just don't try me. If you want to go try somebody else and you'll find out, but don't try me. Because when you try me, that means you're going over the empress and you're trying the empress. And then I don't need nobody thinking in a form and getting demented, and then it causes certain things to happen in the physical reality because what they're going to do to correct the situation. So it's just like you don't want to cause a certain type of situation because you don't want when you a parent disciplines a child, you want them to look at the child like a person of wonderfulness. You do not want certain parents. I literally had to go in the physical reality to stay logically and sane in the physical reality for my wife because my wife is a person that was already complete and she's a feminine being. So she's not gonna tolerate individuals dishonoring her dignity a certain type of way, and then on top of it, she's I'm the masculine and she's the feminine or feminine, she's gonna show you how nice I am and how real I am when it comes to the disciplinary actions of one's physical to show you not to play with me when it comes to regard me and you better regard me. So the things that she'll do to a person instantly in the physical it could be very how can I say detrimental of one's physical reality. So be very careful of how you handle or speak to me because I don't even gotta tell you nothing. I look at you the wrong way. You're in a real serious situation. Like listen. I made your humane condition. Don't even let me think about you in the wrong way. That's how serious the situation is. But but like I said, I think about you, view you the wrong way, or think about you the wrong way. I don't have to say nothing to you. I just, oh, okay, you know. I'm a person that had to stay in the physical reality to continue conquering the physical because my wife was already completely conquered the physical. You're in a humane condition of the atmosphere I gave her, and I'm the literal one that made her and educated her. So I'm like her literal doctor. Now I don't go around doctoring the situation, but I'm recovering to make sure certain things are right away. But when I was younger, we had individuals that did certain things that caused unlock a certain type of way within an individual that caused a certain type of reaction in the physical reality to other people's higher consciousness and their mythology, to oaths that was given. You ever had an empress that did an oath, or men that say knights that did an oath, or men of honor that made an oath for empress, and then as they're carrying out their oath, the empress not happy with their oath, and then literally, did something to discipline them if one of them broke the oath or something, and did disciplinary actions, and then because of me being the real Most High, the real life and self-existence himself, I had to literally treat the situation. So it's like having somebody drinking wine in front of their family one day and start talking about, oh, you should, I'm life. I'm gonna have life. I'm gonna go into the future. I'm gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna still continue existing of the physical reality. I'm going to, when I say live, I'm speaking about my other wife, Liv, not Rags and Blazing Shields, because she had a mother named Love, and her name was turned to Live because my real wives of love, the actualizer of the tree of love, I was considering her to be to acknowledge a certain form, to start something a certain type of way, but because she went against my tendril empress of love and tried to murder her, and then because she went against the education and just continued with her wrong mentality because the way her fierceness was at a certain form, and then she mastered her fierceness, but she didn't have self-control. I had put her away. But my wife my wife didn't want to show her a point of more of discipline because the way she disciplined her children. So if the children would have realized she knew how to discipline a certain situation, it would have caused the more intensifying situation in her situation, and it would have been way worse because then the kids would have wanted to know a certain type of thing of my wife that she didn't want them to know, because my wife was a person that was very intricate with the physical reality, and she was very educated when it came to her acknowledgement even of her being the crown empress, even at her points of existence. So my wife didn't want to continue the situation because she was like, if she does it, they're going to see and they would know. And then at the time, she knew that I was already seeing certain things. I was going to be in this type of situation. So she was fearful. She didn't want to be a part of the course. She just wanted to make sure because she knew the love she had for me was so, it was so it was so serious that she 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 already knew what could have happened in the physical reality when it came to her education. So she she already regarded her situation a certain type of way. So when my wife disregarded her because we knew that the other one was the cause, I had to handle the situation. So my other wives, from another point of existence, came to discipline her. That was her eldest. And then when they came to discipline her, I gave her the name form. I called her. I called her. A form of, I'll say live. I said let her be because they wanted to banish her, but I was never gonna hurt myself a certain type of way because of individuals, and I was living. I'm the real Santa Claus, so I looked at situations like, let it just be, probably another time, probably a person just needed time to realize what's going on. But my wife was telling me at the time, like, no, she's gonna do something. I did something, and I didn't want to view the situation a certain type of way because I'm like, yo, listen, so much was going on a certain type of way. I say, yo, babe, let me just handle it a certain way. Let me just. And my wife said no because I said she was skeptical about a certain situation, and I was gonna be a man of honor, but I needed my wife, even the one that was being skeptical about my situation, to see how much a man of honor I was, and the reasons for something she was learning a certain type of way, and then she would have realized it later down in the line, and I just wouldn't say nothing. So I just kept it to myself, and then as time went by, you know, um, you know, she she was put away, and then things happened, and then it caused the deterioration of other people's consciousness in ways. This is why people got into drugs because of H. Shayla and Liv. There were four bad empresses that knew a certain form of methodology and physics a certain type of way when it comes to the physical reality that caused a deterioration that caused individuals to be on drugs, and this is why you have television shows like Alien, V, in all types of situations because I was warning individuals in a cryptic pattern that these things might happen a certain type of way, and these are the things you have to watch for, and you have to know the way to regard in the system because I knew at the time I was going to be recovering because it's like knowing a man of honor because of something with Hercules that I did for my son, and I'll be literally recovering in the physical reality even at a time. So it's like, oh man, this is all, like, oh man, then and then man, that's it. And let me be real with you. I'm way more than just being Zeus. I, I'm all Adam's dad. So I'm not gonna tell an individual certain things about certain things because another person had to learn the education of fulfilling a certain role when it came to my existence that other people wouldn't be bothering people for their point of acknowledgement and education at a time. Just like I'll be watching the National Geographic Channel, History Channel, I see them going into temples of the East Demons Temple, going into and the things I be seeing people in places, certain people that's not even supposed to be in a certain region because their social economic system is different from their humane condition, and then it could cause a bad reaction of the physical way that led up to things I'm speaking about now. So, when you had things like that, there's no duality. There's no such thing as a duality. You had people that was just, there's energies or forces within the mythological realm of beings that is disciplinary actions for discipline, and then you had individuals that just wanted to say they were demonic, being demons, and then you had them develop, the consciousness of the children, of my children, develop these type of thoughts because of certain things that happened because they didn't want to forget their point of their acknowledgement and their education. So their point of acknowledgement developed a certain type of way when it came to zodiac science. So I let it be for their acknowledgement. So but their acknowledgement of the order was so always higher. So once they started doing something that was unpleasant to the physical reality a certain way, I would be of regard and know what was going on a certain type of way. So I'm not gonna get into that, but like I said, I didn't want to let the emphasis go on this planet because I didn't want to deteriorate the human condition and their element. They know about elements also, so they would cause a deterioration of my wife of this planet. So if my wife thought she was cool and got with somebody, it was just like sex and what you can't have sex with a person that's not your soulmate. That'll literally be killing you in the physical reality. Like it's like being born of immaculate conception or being born of a certain purity at a time of a certain way. You're only meant for one man. I refine all astrological trees. So you're only meant to have one type of soulmate. You're not meant to sleep with different men or do certain type of things. If you do something like you deteriorate in your physical reality, and by the time of me realizing the form of your education will probably be too late for you. And then the things that your mentality at the time already been deteriorated in a certain type of way, so you'll be vulnerable to certain things that happen that'll influence you to go the wrong type of way. So then if those type of things happen, I can't apologize because I have education, but sorry to hear that. How can I say this? My condolences, just can't, can't, I'm not apologizing because I never did nothing wrong. I'm perfect, but I'm sorry to hear that you're around the wrong humane condition. That was a little too much for you when it came to the physical reality, and you wasn't developed on that level yet to be around it. And then certain things happen. And then at a time of your purity, when I was supposed to be strengthened in the astrological tree, this is why I called for. It's just like being in a fraternity on a planet of individuals of being all purity. So a person learning about the astrological tree, you be brought to this planet. And then if you go do the wrong thing in the human condition with somebody else, and then you want to go back to the vitalness of the reason of your existence of the planet, people are gonna look at you like, what the fuck is that? This is not happening. People, what's up with you? What happened with you? What's up? Another person ain't gonna say nothing, but it's like, you can't be by me. Another person can't let you be by me. You can't be by me. I'm not touching something that another person then did wrong to. I'm just gonna be real. I strengthen certain things. Like I'm not gonna be with a person that already did wrong to their anatomy. You already did wrong a certain type of way. Try next semester. It's just like can I say, you had individuals that caused individuals to even be on a form of drugs when people could have been living. I'm the emperor of all love. People could have lived. How can I say this? People could have lived the most in wealthy and enriched life ever in life, but because of the choices of the people, we went to the wrong party. It's like going to a party that's like people from different social economic systems, different social economics, different astrological trees, mingled all in one party the wrong way and shit. It's like a bunch of twisted nerves and shit. And then you just have the wrong type of organism after all. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh, these people thought they were alright just getting together like that at a time over there? Wow. Now, I was talking about my people. Watch what's gonna happen. Then they thinking everything was okay. This one was dancing on this one, this one was this one, this one. The physical reality of certain people's emotions, a certain type of things start happening. I see? And then certain things start forming in the physical reality and levels of physics. And then you say, wow. Then it's Dalai Lama time for me. Then I just look at my wife, like, what did it say? Like, hey, I'll be right back. You gotta put them down, I'll be right back, man. And then have to go handle the situation. All type of levels of mythology, cryptology, in all type of situations to let individuals know about their socioeconomic education, of their higher conscience, of the higher level, of their of their matter, of their anatomy, of their social, of their education when it came to the natural science of their physics. So, I just didn't say nothing, I just, because another person has to know how to regard themselves and how to have a situation a certain way if something happens, so, hey, I just can't say nothing, I'm just sorry to hear that. It's like being a bunch of chicks that walks around in an all girls school a certain type of way. It's because you with your purity, you're saved. You have certain things a certain type of way for you. You even have people from another place at a time, they're going to want certain things a certain type of way for you. And then you're going to have to learn how to regard it because they don't want people to take advantage of you because you have something and because you might need it for yourself a certain type of way. And if they take it from you, they'll never be able to even have it in the future because if you don't have it, they won't even have it. And then on top of it, so much, and then you just look at the people like, yo, man, this can't do nothing for you, man. And then on top of it, if I don't want to be with your purity, you're not gonna make disformed organism and try to make me sleep with it and then cause that in the world. You ain't gonna blame me. I made everything perfect. This is why I have an astrological empress. You already know everything was perfect. You try to do something out of it, she's looking at you like, listen, man, it's Royal Rumble with her. Like, listen, she just got her front row to Royal Rumble. Like, oh. Wow! question. She's all asking questions. I'm like, oh man. And then all type of situations, I'm a man already complete. I already know existence. I don't go out. I know myself, I don't make no discomfort to anybody else. If somebody caused a discomfort or caused something bad to happen, anything concerning me in the physical reality, they're already wrong. And it's already known. So it's like trying to manipulate to try to not to look wrong, and then people know wrong, and then on top of it, I own and made the planet. So it's just like if you do something to hurt me, the elements of rust, there'll be no more solar panel technology, your elements will rust, your atmosphere will give out, your humane condition to your nurturement will give out, and then you'll be fucked up. And then, you don't want to have me around a bad social economic system that's already sabotaging the empress ahead of time, and I'm the head of the empresses that made the empresses, right? That would be stupid, right? So, be careful of the people in the company you keep also, because I told you, the Japan situation was serious. And, if you know about individuals in regions of certain Asia, because America is still a part of Asia, if you know about certain people in regions in Asia, they don't play when it comes to disciplinary actions and order. And then on top of it, you have people that just can't stand, they're vindictive because they just can't stand of being wrong because they know how serious it is and they know what it is to have the high regardments of love. And then next thing you know, I'm looking at them the wrong way, and then on top of it, I don't want to be with their empress, and then next you know, it's just like what people do going after my wife Aphrodite because they wanted to spoil her human condition. Then just like they wanted to spoil my wife of love, they wanted to spoil her human condition, to spoil her mentality. So when she wouldn't love me, because I'm the one that made my wife love, so if she didn't love me, her humane condition is spoiled because I made all existence, all space, all humane condition. So, it'll be spoiled, and then it'll be the end of love, and then it'll be Sin City. But that's because so many people were envious of the love that we have. You have repeated stories in different ways of points of reality, even to her humane condition. So if she didn't remember, she has so many stories of her humane condition of love, of ways that people wanted to get at her, like they were acupuncturing her. They wanted to destroy her existence. So she had to even be more careful. Like I even left signs, and she left signs for individuals, like me being a real rah, in tombs, and then you would open the coffin, it wasn't even a coffin, but you would open the tomb of a form of regardment and resting, and then it would open up, and then you would see spikes inside of the tomb, like, oh my God, somebody was in here? And then they had these things inside of them? Yeah, because my wife was refining. Certain of my wives at certain points of reality was refining, and if anybody came up in their house or on their bed of the way they refined themselves would be murdered and killed instantly if they wasn't part of her refinement. They would be closed in. Usually it would refine her so it wouldn't hurt her. But if somebody else come, there would be nothing but spikes would be there, and they would just when they would see it, it would be the first one to sign. Get the fuck out of there, it's not for you. Don't touch it. Another person would come, they would, okay, I'm going here. They ain't gonna touch. They probably might not see. You ever seen the Percy Jackson, the movie Percy Jackson when it was in Las Vegas? They might not even see what another person's seen, and it might be okay for them. Another person will see something, spikes inside the fucking. It looks like a coffin, but it's not a coffin. It's just a perfect to hold their composure, and then they might see spikes inside of it, and then when they close it, oh my God, you killed it, me, and then they saw blood start sleeping, and they really killed that person. It wasn't meant for them, and then on top of it, then, situations got to be handled. You got to look at the situation because what in there, it killed something in there that just wanted to be in there, or did somebody forcefully put it in there? Then on top of it, got to be cleansed, and all type of things got to happen, and certain rituals, certain ceremonies, certain type of things, and all type of situations. Just like I'm supposed to be with the Pope. I made the atmosphere, so I'm supposed to be walking with the Pope. Like, oh, you need a little bread, you need a little juice, you need a little soda, or you need a radio, you need a plate, because the atmosphere sees I'm giving certain things to you in elements or a certain nurturement, so the universal laws will fall into order by going to you. So now, if it sees that I don't want the situation, I'm skipping, I'm not doing nothing back a certain type of way because I own this place. So it's just like I'm supposed to. It's just waiting for me to give. If I wanted to give, I don't want to give the okay to some people. So if I ever did, it was done a certain way. So the energy of the humane condition will realize of the higher acknowledgement of myself, and then it would literally form a certain type of way, and then certain things would be done. But other people wouldn't believe me. But this is why you learn about humanity. But anyway, too much education, too much speech, too much certain things. Live on YouTube. Have a wonderful night. This is now we're speaking of the time. If I want to, by the time I get my SanDisk chip, by the time I download some of the information that was on my phone already and clear up certain things, I'll start making videos. And periodically, I'll leave certain type of education, a certain type of way for certain individuals. Until then, I'm the real Abbott White from the real martial arts movies, the real Ra, the real Osiris, the real Tutankhamun, the real Seti's dad, the Word himself, the holy man himself. Another person to say, I am Melchizedek himself. Have a wonderful day. Love one. Be praised. Well, me, Rafael Ingia, always be praised. Everybody else, Buddha bless you. For real, not a literal Buddha. Love one.